Good morning. It is about 7:54. I'm like 24 minutes late because I locked my keys in the trailer. I'm very smart. But it is World Series Saturday, which is the day we race on. Hope you can hear me over my loud diesel. But we're racing for a title today. Now, obviously, this means a lot to me, even though it's 5 races, which was supposed to be 6 races. I know people will poo-poo it for that reason alone, but the amount of perfection you need to have in order to be in any sort of contention at the end of the year is astronomical. I mean, on a full season, you can have a few iffy races here or there, and pretty much everybody else around you is going to have the same deal. But, you know, this is just, you got to be perfect. I mean, I finished in the top 5 all 4 races so far. I finished on the podium 3 of them. My worst finish is 4th, and I'm literally 4th in points. So we have a real shot at it today, and I'm sorry about camera shake. It is kind of bumpy in a truck. But yeah, we'll see if we can get this done today. I'll check in with you later.
bad of a race car. This thing was terrible.
Was it?
All day.
Morning. It's the day after. You can tell. Because I look like shit. Well, I was having a pretty bad morning until right now, which is kind of funny. I just started filming because I was looking for my tripod. And I found it. I tried to find a hat, obviously, but I found it on the floor of my truck soaking wet, so we're not sticking that on my head. So yesterday, you saw by the video, did not go as planned. It's a lot like life, really. Sitting here looking at the back end of my car. Doesn't look that bad from here, but thinking about all the changes that I made to the car that really weren't changes. It was, I'm looking at my notebook right now, and basically I don't know where we went wrong. I have no idea. I basically tried to create a greatest hits album of all the stuff that I did this year that worked or seemed to work really well. And I guess they're like, I'm trying to come up with a band that is better apart than together. Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. Just the Young part, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, it worked kind of like that. We unloaded with whatever rubber was on the track from the day before, and it was not bad, fairly fast. Then the track started to rubber up, and it did not like it one bit. Whatever rubber was on the track took that setup and balled it up, threw it in the trash. It was not good. So apparently this setup only works when the rubber is, I don't know, minimal on the racetrack. So yeah, we did not win the title, obviously. Sorry, kind of spaced out because it was just kind of, it's incredibly disappointing, I guess is the only way I could say it. Especially when I've ran so well all year long and had such good finishes and such potential for the season to finish out very well. And then we come to the last race and we're an 8th place car at best. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I do know where we went wrong. I know there's a bunch of stuff that don't work the way that I kind of hoped it would work. And to be honest with you, I think that's what bit me in the ass. And not having a long enough season to hammer out all these things and kind of hash it all out and refine everything. And when you're doing stuff yourself and you're too stubborn to ask somebody for setup help, I mean, this is what happens. You know, guys show up and they have multiple years, notebooks, cars, etc. worth of knowledge, and I'm just out here with that and everything you see behind me by myself making setups. And it doesn't work out well. But to take away, I think we finished second in points. I drove the car and the trailer in one piece, and it's just disappointing. You know, it's whatever. We'll get to unloading, and you've already saw all the footage of the race that I got from my new GoPro. And thank God for Advil PM if you'd like to sponsor us, you know, because my head hurt pretty bad after last night, so thanks. But we got to get this thing unloaded. Before I can unload it, I got to fix that generator because one of the wheels is broken. So I got to kind of change that out because Harbor Freight wheels. Sorry about the hair. I do apologize. All right, so I got the car back in. I spared you all the boring stuff of time lapses and unloading it and junk, and it looks like it's been through a street stock race. Let's be fair. I already found a couple issues. I'd found that one of my chains that hook around the rear end so that when you jack the car up, the springs don't fall out, which they have a rule on. You got to have, a certain amount of distance that the car will raise up. Well, apparently the left rear bound up on me somewhere, like it got hung up on something, and it was not allowing the left rear to come up in the corner, and it was just shoving the nose on entry. So that's bad. Yeah, that's going to be a redesign that I have to make. That's just something that I never even thought of. I thought that I'd prepared this thing as well as I possibly could for this for this race, but I guess after I jacked the car up to adjust and measure the stagger, or something happened, it bound the left rear chain up. So I'm gonna have to go through it and probably redesign it. Make sure that doesn't have, maybe I'll use a seat belt so the chain doesn't swing around, or take the excess links off the chain or something. But whatever happened, that ruined my whole night. I don't even know if that setup even worked. Because when you create a bind like that and it just limits a corner of the car from traveling completely, you have no idea what the setup even does. So now I have no clue. Now I got no clue. So I wish I'd known about it, because maybe I could have done something. I probably would have just taken the chain out of the car. I would have just said, all right, let the shock hold it in, and if we need a pit stop, we'll just make sure the spring goes back in the pocket. And it's not an issue of beating yourself. It's an issue of stuff happens, I guess. So, all right, well, I guess we'll live and learn on that one. But yeah, you can see I took my sweatshirt off. I was chasing my kid around because he helped me unload, and he's not here. He's inside now, but so that's upsetting. I also found this. This is fun. So this is my dad's old scooter. We use it to putz around the pit, and I give it to my uncles so that they got something to ride around in, so they don't have to walk, and because they're all old and beat up. They'll yell at me for calling them old, but that's okay. Anyway, I wondered why my trailer smelled like poop. Well, apparently people bring dogs to the racetrack, and I had to wash these wheels off because somebody ran through dog poop, which is not exactly something you would find at a racetrack. So, to those of you bringing dogs to a racetrack, thanks. You're jerks. Anyway, I think that this year I might have to strip the car down completely and take it to a chassis jig and see if we got anything wrong with it. This car is quite old, been through the ringer, never been on a jig, never been looked at. I don't like the chassis pickup points in it. They're old and hogged out and worn out, and this thing's been hit and bent and moved and stuffed, and I'm sure it's still a good car. I just really think it would benefit from either a refresh. Maybe I'd take the center section and hack the front and rear clips off of it and put new clips on it and straighten it out. I don't know. Other than that, I don't really know what to do here. I think this car could benefit from a rear clip at least. I see pock marks in the back frame, and the pickup points look like somebody hit the wall at some point really hard and just kind of yanked the trailing arms back and bent all the trailing arm locations and stuff. And I should really take this rear end out. I know that I have a jig. Like you can see this thing sitting over here. It's such a janky jig and nonsense. I built it just to kind of give myself a chance to do it myself, and I thought it would work out pretty well, but it kind of hasn't. And I think that I could take the rear end and strip that, maybe take it somewhere else and have them put a little bit of love into the pickup points and see if they're straight or not, and make sure the rear end is straight, it's probably pretty good, except for maybe a few little details here and there. Like I said, I think this car could benefit from that stuff. Maybe I'll take that chassis outside and straighten it out. Maybe I'll take that one to a jig. You've seen it in an episode or two, and I haven't touched it since. But anyway, I got a lot to think about. I got a lot of time. I got a lot of resources. I got a lot of work to do. But thanks y'all for watching. I appreciate it. I'm sure I'll have a lot of stuff going on this off season, and this isn't going to be a complete racing channel either. It's going to be me working on other stuffs and odds and ends and a lot of mechanical and vehicle related stuff. So hang in there. Thanks again. I appreciate it. Stay subscribed, or get subscribed, I guess, to stay up to date with whatever I'm doing, and help me grow this thing so we can have some fun together. And I appreciate the support. I'm the only person in the world who would think that finishing second in points is a failure because I didn't win a race, but we came out here with something that we never had before, with this type of rear end, locked rear, different types of suspension components. And I think we were really strong until that last race, and that chain bound up on us and the setup just did not work. And I guess it is what it is. You got to lose them before you can win them. That's the old saying. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. Oops. Now to get my box.